It's Elizabeth from Alpus Astrology at alpusastrology.com. Thanks for joining me today for a video, my take on the astrology for the second half of January 2019. I'm going to be covering that for sure, but I'm also going to end with an update on the British Royal Family. When I originally started my YouTube channel and my videos in June 2017, I decided to do my first videos on the Royal Family, and I had a lot of fun doing that. They're still available if you wanted to, take a look at them. But the reason I wanted to do this update on the British Royal Family is because we've got that final eclipse happening on the 20th or 21st of January 2019, and I just thought it would be nice to bring this full circle and talk about what I see as a result of this eclipse and then the year ahead for them with regards to the royal family. So I'll do that towards the end. All right, let's get back to the astrology of January, second half of January 2019. Well, we still have it dominated by Earth, specifically Capricorn. And remember that Capricorn and Saturn rule, different areas of our body. In particular, it's knees, bones, our skin structure, teeth, and gallbladder are all ruled by that. And also remember that Saturn, although, we talk about him being the Lord of Karma and hard lessons, Saturn, by transit especially, is really trying to help you get what you really want, even though it may not seem like that. So it's trying to get you to look at those structures that you've set up in your life, and obviously we change structures in our lives as we go through our lives. And Saturn is there as the great teacher, as it points out and tests those structures that we've set up and we use to interpret our world. Are they still valid? Are they really expressing what we're thinking, what we're feeling, what we are inside? So the hard lessons potentially come when they're not, when those structures aren't valid anymore. And it tests us and says, really? Are you sure that that's the structure you want? Are you sure that's the relationship? Is that the job you want? Is that the home? Is that where you want to live? And it'll just test those things out, questioning us whether or not they're valid. But in particular as it relates to what we really, really want. Okay, maybe just think about that a bit. Let's get back to the astrology. So on the 12th of Jan, we have the first of a series of squares that are going to happen between Jupiter and Neptune. And it has us questioning our beliefs. It has us asking, do I trust myself here? It also asks us to trust, source, the higher power. Now, that type of thing is not outside us. It's actually inside us. So it still all relates back to, can I trust myself? This big jump I'm going to take, this big risk I'm going to take, maybe I shouldn't do that. So there's going to be those doubts that are going to be around. And like I always say, we should believe in ourselves. We should trust what our intuition says. But there's nothing wrong with doing a double check and checking with an expert or someone who you really trust that's a good friend. Anyway, that's going to be starting on the 12th of Jan and will carry out through most of 2019. It also has us too, believing in source, believing in something bigger than ourselves. But remembering, like I said, it's something that is inside us. It's not something external to us. On the 14th of Jan, we have Mercury going into Capricorn. So this could be some serious news come our way about our structures. Now, this could be structures, say our government structures. It could even be the church. It could be our banking system. There'll be some kind of major announcement at this time. Individually, we just may hear from someone that has some authority over us. Some kind of seriousness around that. But not necessarily bad, but it's definitely someone who, is our boss, our manager, that type of thing. On the 19th of January, we have a lovely trine that is happening with Venus in Sagittarius, trining Mars in Aries. So this is like exciting romance. And it's coupled with Mercury conjuncting Pluto, so that adds an element of seriousness to it. So this could be people making announcements about an engagement, for instance, but it could just be that some new romance is, on the cards. Now, especially with Sagittarius and Aries, we've got those two signs involved here. So for those folks, this could be something as well. With Mercury, though, conjuncting Pluto, this does suggest, it adds a seriousness to it. So even though it may be an exciting romance, this could also cause us to think quite seriously. Now, Mercury is messages and announcements, but it's also our thoughts. So some kind of event around an exciting romance could cast our thoughts to thinking more seriously about this specific romance in our life around the 19th of January. On the 20th of January in the US and the 21st in Europe, we have that final total eclipse in Leo. It's a full moon, and it's the last one in the series of eclipses between Leo and Aquarius. It is at 0 degrees Leo, 51 minutes, at 9:16 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It does have Mars in Aries squaring Saturn in Capricorn. So this says that certainly there's going to be an element of the eclipse asking us to express our authentic selves, to get finally on our authentic path, be in an authentic relationship, an authentic job, just express our authentic selves. But there's also going to be some maybe regulations, maybe people in authority that will be putting a damper on it and try to stop the energy. So that dynamic is going to be happening around the eclipse, where we're going to want to move forward, but something is holding us back. And it won't necessarily be ourselves, but it could be obligations, and it could be authority, those people that have authority over us. But remember that this total eclipse in Leo actually has an effect of at least 6 months, maybe a year for some, maybe even longer for others. And we could have actually been feeling the effects of this 6 months prior to this eclipse. But because it's the last one and it's in Leo, it is bringing up things like romance. Am I in the right love relationship? Authenticity. Am I expressing the real me? Am I being the good queen or the good king? And it also brings up children, just generally speaking, as well as games of chance. So for those that maybe have this aspect in their chart specifically, and I mean by that their ascendant or their sun, maybe games of chance might be worthwhile checking out. Not guaranteeing anything, by the way, but this is a good aspect for that. So, right after, a couple days later, on the 22nd of January, we have an exact conjunction of Venus and Jupiter in Sagittarius. Well, this is just an all-around lucky aspect, especially lucky in love, and specifically Sagittarians, perhaps the opposite sign at Gemini as well, or if you have something specific like an ascendant that is around these points as well, there could be some lucky thing coming your way. It's just an all-around lucky. Lucky in money, lucky in love, just generally luck. Now in the morning sky, the early morning sky, if you look southeast on the 22nd, you are going to be able to see this. You're going to see two bright, bright stars. And those two bright stars are the two brightest planets, Jupiter and Venus. If you want to watch from an astronomical standpoint the development of this, from about the 18th of January up to the 22nd, you can actually see these two planets coming together. It's actually quite an interesting thing to watch. On the 24th of Jan, we have Mercury squaring Uranus. So this, on the surface, basically says upsetting news. In the collective, we may hear some upsetting news continuing on the 24th of Jan. So this could be, we've got an ongoing thing going on in the White House. There could be more upsetting news around this. But it could also mean a breakthrough. Not everybody's happy because it's a square, but there's a big breakthrough on the 24th. Fingers crossed that it's an actual breakthrough. On an individual level, we may receive some unexpected news. It may be a little upsetting, but it will be there to free us. Always remember that Uranus is not malefic. It only wants to free us from things that we're stuck to or glued to that are just not any good for us. So remember that, the sun will rise again after the night. Don't see this if it comes out negative for you, some kind of news. Take a breath, go for a walk, and just let the dust settle a bit. And then maybe you're going to realize that this has somehow set you free from something that maybe you've had around you for a long time that needed to go. The 25th, we have Mars in Aries. It'll be trining Jupiter in Sagittarius. This sets up great energy around fortunate action. Mars is action and Jupiter's fortunate. So this is just darn right fortunate action. And that's for everybody. Now, obviously, Aries and Sagittarius are the signs that are involved. So in particular, those signs may have some fortunate action happen for them on the 25th. On the 28th, we have Mercury is conjunct the Sun, which is now in Aquarius. This sets up a lot of electrical type of energy. We may have some unique thoughts. We may have some very unexpected messages come in. I think on the collective level, we're probably going to have some kind of scientific discovery that's significant, but it's going to be about outer space because Uranus rules Aquarius, where the Sun is for this aspect. And so this will have something to do with outer space. I don't know if we'll be getting communications from outer space, but that would be cool. But certainly it'll be something significant in terms of our understanding of outer space. On the 31st, we have Saturn sextiling Neptune, and it's exact. This is lovely. This is an opportunity to put structures down in a spiritual sense. It is also a great time an opportunity to produce beautiful music, to sing, to write poems. It could also be a time when many of us decide to take the opportunity to explore the metaphysical realm, where we look at maybe the old ancient scrolls that are out there. It could be a time you take up astrology as well. But anything in that realm will be favorable and present some opportunities to help you understand, the higher realms as well of ourselves, so our spiritual selves, source, that type of thing. All right, I'm going to do a little segment here on my update of the British royal family. But just to remind you, because I'm going to be talking about Pluto and Uranus. Pluto orbits around the Sun 248 years, right? It takes 248 years to do that. Uranus takes 84 years. The reason I'm bringing this up is because these are once-in-a-lifetime events. And this is going to particularly apply to the royal family and specifically Prince Charles and Queen Elizabeth II. So this total eclipse that I just spoke about on the 20th or 21st of January will conjunct Charles' ascendant. And by the way, Camilla's as well. Charles and Camilla share a lot of things in their astrological charts. So both Charles and Camilla will be affected by this total eclipse. Like I said, the eclipse happens on the 20th of Jan, but it will go through for another 6 months, and in some cases for another year. And in Charles's case, because it's on his ascendant, for sure it'll be a year effect. The total eclipse also conjuncts the Jupiter of the UK chart. Now, I use the UK chart of when the United Kingdom became the United Kingdom, and that's the 1st of January of 1801. So remember, Jupiter rules the royals, right? So this is pretty significant, this total eclipse for the royal family, generally speaking, because we've got Jupiter involved here in the UK chart. But for Charles, this is a significant major change for him. And because Leo rules the royals, it also asks us to express our authentic self. So this is Charles getting an opportunity for the next year or so to set things in place to start really expressing who he is. And Camilla will just be going along because she's got the same aspect. So there's some major once-in-a-lifetime aspects that affect both Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Charles directly. I'm just going to cover some major ones. I'm sure I won't get every single one. Feel free to leave a comment and remind me what those ones that I did not. I'd be delighted to hear from you. So specifically, the 7th to the 26th of March, but more exactly the 11th to the 14th of March, Uranus, unexpected things, unexpected happenings, electrical messages and energy will exactly conjunct Queen Elizabeth II's sun. Then Charles's moon, and his moon is in his 10th house of career. This is the final third time that Uranus will conjunct both the sun and moon. So to me, this is saying this is an end of an unexpected shakeup with regards to Queen Elizabeth and Prince Charles. Uranus also trines Charles's north nodes. Actually, it conjuncts his north nodes that are also in Taurus, October-November 2019. It does a final on this in March 2020, this aspect of Uranus trining his nodes. And the north nodes, as we know, are what our destiny points are. So this is going to shake up his destiny. And because it's a conjunction, this is going to be something very serious for him with regards to what his main destiny is. And the main destiny he has, by birth of course, is to become King of England. For Queen Elizabeth, her north nodes are at 20 degrees of Cancer. And as you know, the north nodes of the moon are in Cancer right now. So this is significant for her in terms of her destiny, right? North nodes are all about your destiny. Her ascendant is at 21 degrees of Capricorn, and she will have Saturn conjunct that point on the 27th of December 2019. November to December, Pluto conjuncts her ascendant for the third time along with her south nodes in Capricorn. So we've got the south nodes involved as well as her ascendant, with Pluto hitting both of these, right? November, December 2019. So this is a significant time for her in terms of transforming who she is, who she appears to other people, and letting go of the past. The south nodes are about letting go of the past. I see this new moon in Capricorn. It's an annular eclipse, which will happen on the 26th in the UK. It's that one that has a ring of fire around the moon. It will be conjuncting Charles's north nodes, actually trining his north nodes at 4 degrees of Taurus, and again in his 10th house. So this new moon eclipse on the 26th of December is going to mark something in the sand with regards to Charles's destiny. And the other thing that happens, of course, is Pluto will be sextiling his sun on the 21st of December 2019. And his sun conjuncts Queen Elizabeth II's midheaven. And the midheaven is about the public, the people seeing or hearing about you. These aren't people that you know, so it could be announcements made, that type of thing, whether it's written and or in front of the camera. But it's for everybody to see and hear. So with it being his son, he's going to be having something to say, or he will be highlighted by her at this time because it's her midheaven. You know, you need to remember also that Queen Elizabeth, for as long as I've lived, has always had a live Christmas address to the nation or to the world, kind of going over the year and then talking a little bit about the year ahead. So I see, if I was going to pick a time for her to be making some announcements, because she does, and rightfully so, likes to make her own decisions at her own timing. I think that that address that she's going to give on Christmas Day of this year, 2019, will be significant in terms of her view and long-range view of the monarchy and the royal family as she sees it. So she'll be making some kind of announcement or indication at this time of what's next. On the 10th of January 2020, we're also going to be having Saturn conjuncting Pluto in Capricorn, which is going to be significant to everybody. But that it's going to be a full moon in Cancer at 20 degrees of Cancer. Well, this conjuncts her north nodes exactly. So the 10th of January, and it's also on her descendant, so where she may let some things go. I think that this is going to be a time also where there may be some formal announcements made 10th of January 2020, especially because we've got that other aspect of the Saturn conjuncting Pluto in Capricorn. It'll also, that full moon on the 10th of Jan will also conjunct the moon in that UK chart. And of course the moon in the UK chart represents the UK public, so everyone in the public. So there will be some major transformational changes that will be coming about and being announced to the UK, and of course in the world it follows, certainly by January 2020. Her sun also conjuncts the ascendant as well with the north nodes of destiny at that time. So the royal planet, which is Jupiter, will be going into Capricorn to join all those other planets in December 2019. So I think this is going to probably mark a possible signal of the changing of the guard and the royal structure of the monarchy and the royal family. So we can look, I think, for December as a time period where I really feel there will be some major changes with regards to the transformation of the royal family. And I believe this will be coming from Queen Elizabeth at her Christmas Day speech that she gives. So what about Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan, you ask? Okay, I'm just going to spend a few minutes on this. I did look at this, but I didn't look at every single thing. I looked at the significant things, especially in Duchess Meghan's chart with regards to this birth. Now they did say it was going to be a spring baby. And for 2019, the first day of spring will be the 20th of March. We have a full moon in Libra the next day on the 21st of March, and it's at 0 degrees of Libra. Now, what's significant for Meghan is that it conjuncts her moon, her Saturn, and her Jupiter, okay? And it's all on the IC axis. So this is the cusp of the 4th house of the home. Although this is a full moon and an ending, so the birth of a baby potentially, it's at 0 degrees, which means it's the beginning of the energy too. So the birth of the baby is the beginning of the baby being outside the womb. The other thing that's happening is Jupiter in Sagittarius will conjunct Duchess Meghan's Neptune in the 5th house. And I mean, Neptune does rule the waters, and Jupiter is all about expanding those waters. So breaking of the waters, and it's in the 5th house of children and creativity. Also what's significant is Duchess Meghan's own north nodes are at 1 degree of Leo, which is right on that eclipse point of the 20th of Jan 2019. So for her, that eclipse that I spoke about earlier on the 20th of January 2019 also marks a big time for her destiny. I think this woman is going to have some significant things that are positive to do with the royal family. Just wait and see what she and Harry do throughout this year and the years to come. Pluto in Harry's chart will be trining his moon, and Sun, trining the Sun exactly in March. So again, we're looking at that March time period. So I will put my neck out there and stick my neck out there and say that I think it'll be sometime around the 21st of March 2019 that Duchess Meghan will give birth to a lovely baby, I'm sure. Some people say babies, not sure about that, but we'll have to see. Take care, everybody. This is the end of my video. I'll be back in February. Please leave me your comments if you want your own personal chart done. I would be delighted to do that. Go to elvisastrology.com and subscribe to my site as well. I have posts that I put on there as well twice a month. All right, guys, take care of yourself and best of luck.